solar flares, we've had meteors and meteorites. We have predictions that ETs will be making an appearance, and we've had a lot of ET appearances. Actually, I'm seeing a lot on the internet, then most of them are not the real deal. However, some of them are, and we're talking more about it. There is something coming, and it is big, and extraterrestrials absolutely know what's going on here and are going to pick their time. We're going to talk about the next 2 years because I truly believe something huge is going to happen. It's going to start with more appearances. We're going to talk about why and what you can get prepared for. It's going to be pretty cool, so get excited. Let's go. To Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears, live an amazing life. My hair is wet. I've got my summer hat. We're ready to go. I hope you'll subscribe because I want to continue giving you messages of hope and excitement that you chose to be here on this planet at this time. Now, I'm going to plug my book because it really goes over all the things I talk about on this channel. It talks about the tipping point and where we are, why that has happened. So I'll briefly tell you here, because all you need to know is that everything you do is contributing toward the collective. Now, I was just working out, and someone I knew who's always super happy all the time, and it's not fake, it's the real deal. She confessed that she got up in the morning and she just cried and cried and cried. And I said, why? And she says, I don't know. Well, it was a full moon a few days ago. No, what's going on? We're connected to the collective. What does that mean? You're going to pick up on things. Now, those of you who say you're empaths, you can just as easily pick up on the positive than the negative. So you have to ask yourself, where's my frequency in order for me to be picking up on that? Not saying that that's your fault. If you walk in a room, you definitely can pick up on negative energy. Everything is energy, everything's a frequency, and anybody in our neighborhood, our extraterrestrial friends, are not going to make an appearance in a violent place where they're not welcome. And first of all, we do have rules here. We're playing out matrix illusions. We're playing out being humans. You're playing out the scenarios here. When you leave here, what are near-death experiences? What do they say all the time? You have to go back. You haven't completed your mission. There's a mission. It's a game. So the mission is, well, maybe I have to be the one that spreads the positive messages. Maybe I'm the one that had to be abducted, and I was told I had to share the story, as did Chris Bledsoe. Big burden, but they took it on because guess what? It's a temporary position here. Now, those of you who have stayed in this more closed-minded space, I'm going to ask you why. What would make you think that the one source has any limitations? It is the tree out there. It is the breeze. It is that oxygen you're breathing. It is you. It is not the material world. It is everything and that. In other words, there's more empty space, dark matter they call it, than there is material world. It's just a fraction of the actual power. I want you to think about this space out here is the power. When we go into other beings on other planets, and some of them don't even live on planets, we keep putting ourselves in boxes. We live on a planet, they must. I want you to think about it. Why don't humans all look alike? Why aren't they all white or black or, you know, any name it? Why aren't we all one thing? If we came from one species, one thing, Adam and Eve, there would be nothing else in there, right? Nothing else would be introduced to change our eye colors or our skin colors. There would be nothing else. Yet we have massive differences, especially in different countries. Well, they're in Africa and we're in the United States, and wait a second. And we're in Scandinavia, so, you know, our colors are, no, it doesn't work that way. You know? So I assure you, that if somebody from Africa with dark skin went over to Scandinavia and had babies, that it generation after generation after generation would continue to have dark skin, even if they lived in Scandinavia. And no matter how long white people live in hot climates, they're not going to ever have dark skin as a pigmentation naturally. Let's just be really honest with that. There is no explanation for this other than we are multi-dimensional beings. We don't all have the same DNA. We were not placed here with just one species. We didn't just pop up somewhere in a garden. Oh, I'm going to take the rib and make a woman. Now, those of you who read the Bible, you might get upset over this. I'm not here to change any of your opinions, but I want you to think about the programming and how dense it is, and how what we really are is so much greater and beyond. We can't even comprehend how all of that started. Because those beings that helped propagate us here and adjust us and help to improve us, and for whatever reasons we even came here at all, those beings came from something also, who came from something also, and also and so. And what is that? We could say stardust, but where did stardust come from? We can't comprehend this. We do have extraterrestrials. They are observing us. They cannot interfere with our game because we all choose games. We are the creators because everything's the creation and the creator. All right? It participates in everything because the one is all these things, is all these things. So you can't be separate from source. It's impossible. That means you and I are connected. That means everything is happening now. I told you, if you read my book, I went to a super awakened state. I had what's called the fourth sight. And if you've ever read Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth, I think it was, the one that he explains that when he went into a super awakened state, he was up here. I didn't know what it was until I read his book and I realized, oh my gosh, that's what it is. He didn't know what it was either. Like, you're in this state, you're not planning it, you're not looking for it, there's no one way to do it. I wasn't trying to go into awakened state, but I was absolutely focused on being my absolute best, no thinking person, right? Meditating, doing these things with no real agenda. And I went to super high awaken. When I say super high awaken, you actually are up here. You're not even in your body completely. Your energy field, we're an energy field. This is why you can have your dead body laying there and you can be up here looking at it. You're actually expanding outside of it. That happens in a super awakened state. You start to expand outside of your body because you are that. We are all of that. But we're playing a role, so we still have an attachment to the body on some level so that we can function as the body. I was up here. The fourth sight is when you see everything so crystal clear. I mean, everything is so intense. Colors are intense. You see things, it's not painful. It's just, it's so, everything comes alive. And the fourth sight, I was aware of other dimensions within the room. I could sit there and be aware of that love, that source love, while I was talking to people. And knowing that they weren't picking up on it, that they were not connected to that higher frequency. So we can all be in one space and function on completely different levels. Right? When I was on that super high frequency, I realized that we are one thing now. I was going for a run, and during my run, in that state of being, and I was so aware of everything that touched me, it was alive, it was communicating with me. Not in some weird way, just communicating, meaning that it's aware of you. It's just pure love. You know, it's just pure creation. I was told 3 things. Everything is one thing happening. There's no such thing as time. No such thing. Just like there's no such thing as just a human. It's made up, it's an illusion. It's just part of one thing. In other words, it's not one separate thing. Everything is one thing. Everything is one thing happening, not simultaneously. This is what I want to get clear with you. And we're going to talk about this extraterrestrial thing, because if we don't get this right, they will not interact with us. We can't open that door to invite them in. Because we got 2 years here where we're in the tipping point where we're going into that space that I'm describing to you right now. This is why I'm going into depth on this all the time, is that this is what we have to work on, and then that will happen. We don't act like yin-yangs, and shoot at these beautiful neighbors who can come in and do some amazing, wonderful things. Your neighbor's knocking on your door and they've got a big casserole. Hi, get off my property. Okay. You don't want my casserole? I apologize to all Southern people. I should never do accents. So what I want you to understand is that, see, you should be having fun. That's the whole thing. There's laughter out there. When I go into that space, and I've shared with you guys before, I laugh at the most inappropriate moments. Just totally inappropriate, especially during funerals, because I'm sitting there going, why are we crying? This person is in the most amazing space right now, and they're aware of us too. When my dad was in a coma, and I knew that we had to, pull him off the machines, but he hung in there long enough. Thank God I was able to make it there. And I was talking to him, and I said to my brother, who said something, I said, he hears you. My brother's like, I said, Dad's in the room with us. He's not in his body right now. He's probably listening to everything we say. He's probably right up here. And I knew that. So I never felt like I was losing my dad. I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to physically see him in this world. And that he's still with me, and he has visited me many, many times and made himself known. I actually have a book coming out. The things that he did is mind-blowing with other people in the room to know this. Why are we afraid of this? We're just energy. We are that there. You are this up here. It was very difficult for me to speak to people. I was detached from the material world. I just didn't feel it necessary. And so when we go into the other space, we don't speak. We have telepathy, but we don't have these long conversations about crap that's not important, right? Well, as long as we stay in that dense place and we're arguing, we're separating, and we're not understanding this magnificence, they will not step in, because we will always misuse everything, argue about stuff, separate, have secrets. They cannot interfere with us. So until we raise our frequency to that point, it's not going to happen. They're going to make themselves known, but they will not interfere with our lives. We will get that choice to do that. So when they're showing up, they're just letting us know they're there. And that's not in violation of anything. All right? So what I want you to know is that everything is one thing happening. In other words, every possible scenario and energy, and there's a version of you out there that's functioning. It's all just one energy field, and this is beyond our comprehension. It's not simultaneous. That means that you're putting it in a time zone. There are no time zones. It is just probabilities all existing. So when your grandma or your parents or whomever go to the other side, and then they visit you, that's not who they are. It's just an energy field that existed that still functions. It's just a space there in that time, that we create. And they are there. They're off into other things at the same time. There's one thing happening. So you can actually visit people. There are people who are still alive that can visit other people as orbs. My friend Nikki, who you're going to hear from, she's putting a really cool business together. I'm working with her as a student. You guys interested in doing that? I work with you as students to create these amazing businesses online. You're going to actually generate income doing something amazing and changing people's lives. And we talked about that. I said to her, some of these orbs, according to some people, are still human beings. Some are near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences. They can just transition into other stuff, but you have to be open to this. So if you say, oh, that's not possible, well, wait till it happens to you, because if you guys have been watching me for a while, I meditated one time and actually had an out-of-body. That's the first time I did it while I was full-blown awake. I had an out-of-body experience where I was in the other room. It was a screened in porch, so I could see myself. I saw myself meditating. There were light beings with me. And I said to one of them, I think I'm going to give up fear. And as soon as I said that, I realized, whoa, I'm talking to somebody here, and I'm looking at myself. And I was looking at myself as the avatar in a play, and that I, the writer, producer, director, was making a decision on what that was going to be, how I was going to direct the actor. That's exactly what's going on. So you, in your higher self, is not separate from you. If you're not thinking it here, it's not thinking it. You are the higher self. What you want to do is draw on that, right? You want to draw on that higher self and say, whatever I'm having here, or whatever little ego fit I'm having, or how people should behave, I'm not seeing ourselves as one beautiful energy field playing things out, and that these are all just opportunities for me to make a higher choice, even the worst possible situation and the least of us. This you do to the least of us, you do to me. What's the least of us? The ones that we judge as below us, that we judge, because they're not. Everything's equal and perfect. It's playing out illusion. When you get that in check, you can go into compassion and know they're playing it out. What's the opportunity here for me? What's my reaction going to be? Judgment, anger, this shouldn't be happening. It is, and there's no one who actually ultimately gets hurt or damaged. And if you've watched near-death experiences, I've been doing that a lot lately because they're fascinating, you know that they always say the same thing. They don't feel pain. They're out of their bodies. They pop out, and that's this whole thing. And I know how that operates. You're actually detached from the body. You're actually not feeling things. There's no thinking in that space. There's no reason to think. Thinking gets you in trouble. All right, so the ETs. I hope you're getting this. The whole video is about us doing this so that they will absolutely start to make their presence known beyond just showing up. We've got to work on this because we have to be the neighbors that say, yes, bring the casserole and let's all sit around the table and I'm going to put my goods out and we're all going to pour a glass of wine and get to know each other. Because together as a community, we become very powerful and beautiful. And this is the next 2 years critical that we go into that space. So if you've got any limitations, let them go. Let them go. You know, the most powerful 3 words? Nope, it's not I am God, it's I don't know. Harmony in the world within. The world within will be reflected in the world without by harmonious conditions, agreeable surroundings, the best of everything. It is the foundation of health and a necessary essential to all greatness, all power, all attainment, all achievement, and all success. All right, let's say this again. I'm going to only read this one. Boy, we got a long way to go. Harmony in the world within will be reflected in the world without by harmonious conditions, agreeable surroundings, the best of everything. When you have harmony within, it's reflected out here. The best of everything. The foundation of health, greatness, all power, all attainment, all achievement, all success comes from the harmony within. It reflects out here, and that's the result. It's that simple. So get her right. But shut your pie hole. I don't want to hear it. There are no buts on my channel. Yeah, except for your spiritual butt kick. Do you get this? We have to work on this. These next 2 years, they will be making themselves known because we don't have more linear time, because this is the play, and the play has a timeline. Even though there's endless realities here going on, but we're not aware of that as humans. All we know is our time and our reality, and you're choosing it and you're creating it. So there might be a new earth that we go into, and you may not participate in it at all, and you'll say, see, it didn't happen. And it is happening, by the way. We have a golden era coming up. We do not have to go into conflict or fear. It doesn't matter who's in our institutions here. It doesn't matter. The old guard is going to dissolve. And you could be programmed to take sides and believe the stuff that has been going on for decades, centuries. But look in your heart and look at the actions and the words of anyone. Do they create separation, stories, conspiracies? If any of that exists, they are in density. I know. But no, these things are wrong. There is no right nor wrong. If somebody's creating that, they are in density. There are leaders that will come into existence, hopefully in our lifetime, possibly not, that would never go into a space of blame, separation, disrespect, and will be for the community, and there will be no sides anymore. There'll just be one pathway, and that is community, collaboration, love, compassion. How do we work as one unified human species so that all beings can find that peace and still have the ability to make decisions? I mean, you might want to live in a beautiful house on the beach. Somebody may want to live in the woods in a shack. We still get to experience the beauty of contrast here with no right nor wrong, but it won't be done in a way of hoarding or control or I have to get more. It won't be important anymore. We're just going to enjoy this beautiful journey, and I want you to start laughing. If you want to go into that space, laughter is a high frequency. Take the worst situation and find the humor in it, and you will absolutely pee your pants laughing. Yeah. I don't think I've ever peed my pants laughing. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful. You guys come on over. This is Digital Explorers. We are creating planet conscious online businesses. What's that mean? It could be anything. You could be a healer, you could be a coach, you could have products that'll change the world, you could have anything you want. I work with you. It's an online training, and we coach you to create an actual real business, one with a strategy. Go in a bank, get financing at some point. It's going to be structured properly. People will take you seriously, and you're going to change the planet in a positive way, so you'll be proud to say you have an online business, not chasing money, and the money will fix my life. We're done with that. Are you done with that? You got to live that harmony here, and the surroundings will become, it has to be your surrounding. You can't have this surrounding and say, well, I'll get the money and then I'll change that. No, you have to live it now. You have to be that. I am that. I am. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. My doves come every morning and sit and stare at me. They're so cute. I think I'm going to go talk with them. Maybe have a little cup of coffee. Namaste.